Good evening, you are with the big story here. I'm Seher Zama. And we're making a start with the Bihar elections. The focus now here on the last and final phase, which is the third phase here that goes to polls Bihar on Saturday, which is on the 7th of November, and campaigning for which has ended right now, this evening. But not before an interesting statement here that was made from the Chief Minister Nitish Kumar, campaigning for the third phase here. He says, in making a huge declaration, addressing a rally at Purnia, Nitish Kumar has said that it is his last election. So he's appealed to the voters on an emotional note here in his last leg of campaigning that his victory now lies in their hands. Let's get in further details. Our correspondent Ayushman with those inputs here. Ayushman, this is of course the first time that we've heard that. We've not heard it ever before, neither of the previous campaignings for phase 1 or phase 2. This has been made in phase 3 for the last and final, literally the final campaign speech for these elections. Is this a last-ditch emotional pitch here to appeal to the voters?
Well, sir, we have seen this happening in Punjab, and also when Captain Amrinder Singh, even before his candidature for CM was announced, he had said that he would be, this would be his last election, or it would be seen early next year, and maybe next time whether he contests or not. Same thing was witnessed in Karnataka, where H.D. Devegowda had said that he won't be contesting, and now he's in Rajya Sabha. Now, what actually prompted Nitish Kumar to say this, that it is his last election, that is yet to be seen, but definitely, sir, it is an emotional appeal which Nitish Kumar is making. That too in Mithilanchal and Simanchal area, this is a strong bastion of RJD. And in Purnia, when Nitish Kumar says that it is his last election, and that too in a rally. We know Nitish Kumar, he's been blunt in his opinion. He airs his opinion very frequently. We haven't seen that happening any moment in the elections. He was there, he was criticizing RJD, taking personal jibes at Lalu Rabri and also Tejaswi Chirag. But he never meant that this election was his last. Now, what prompted him? Is there an anti-incumbency that is actually making a pressure? Is the young Turks attacking him regularly? That is something creating the pressure. That is to be seen. But the big news is Nitish Kumar has said that it is perhaps his last election he's contesting in Bihar.
Yes, Ayushman, please stay with us. We're getting in more voices. We have senior journalist Ms. Neerja Chowdhury with us over the phone line. Thank you for being with us, ma'am. How much of this can be really taken on face value? I mean, at the end of the day, no one really retires from politics. This is perhaps just playing an emotional card to the voters.
Nobody retires from politics in India. That is absolutely true. Nitish Kumar has been the butt of anger in this election. People are holding him responsible for many things, and that anger has grown during the period of COVID, particularly in the way he handled the migrant crisis and the growing joblessness in the state. So it's really become not even an issue of Bijli Sadak Pani, but it's become an issue of Rozi Roti, much more basic that people are wanting. Now, he, on the last day of the campaign for the Bihar elections, he is trying to evoke sympathy and reminding people, look, I have done this for you over the last 15 years. Don't forget it. And after all, after this, I'm not going to be contesting elections. So many politicians have played this last election card, and one doesn't blame him for doing it. And he is trying to get sympathy by saying, I'm not going to be around. So far, analysts have said that this probably will be his last election, but now he's saying it himself.
Right. Okay. All right. So you're saying that this is just to evoke sympathy, perhaps really not to be reading any more into this. This is only clearly strategically being said to evoke sympathy. But let's get in a word here from the alliance partner, the BJP. We have Mr. Afzal Shamsi, BJP spokesperson with us. Mr. Shamsi, thank you for being with us. Are you shocked by what your alliance partner, your chief ministerial candidate has just stated here at a public campaign?
ये तो बड़े ही एप्रिसिएशन की बात है और पॉलिटिक्स में अगर कोई कहे कि हमने जो इतने अच्छे से रूल किया, रूल ऑफ लॉ किया, और ये हमारा लास्ट है, तो ये एक मैसेज यानी न्यू जनरेशन के लिए भी कि किस तरह से, मैं तो कहूंगा कि महात्मा गांधी के बाद, आफ्टर द महात्मा गांधी, अगर जयप्रकाश नारायण और ऐसे तरीके लोगों को हम कंपेयर करेंगे तो उसमें नीतीश कुमार जी हैं। और नीतीश कुमार जी ने लास्ट 15 इयर्स में जो रूल ऑफ लॉ
जी
किया, डेवलपमेंट किया, उसी प्रकार से वो कह रहे हैं कि ये मेरा लास्ट है 5 इयर्स। तो ये
नहीं,
बड़ी
शम्सी
बात
जी आप इसको तारीफ की बात तो कह रहे हैं, शम्सी जी आप इसको तारीफ की बात कह रहे हैं, मगर क्या आपको, आप उनके अलायंस पार्टनर हैं, द बीजेपी जेडीयू फाइटिंग दिस इलेक्शन टुगेदर विद द चीफ मिनिस्टर एज योर कैंडिडेट, विद नीतीश कुमार एज योर सीएम कैंडिडेट फॉर द नेक्स्ट टर्म हियर एज वेल, आपको क्या इसके बारे में पहले पता था? क्या भाजपा को भी एकदम से ये सुनने में आया?
देखिए, ये राजनीति संभावनाओं का विषय है, यानी इसमें एक्सपेक्टेशंस कुछ भी हो सकते। अभी हमारे कैंडिडेट हैं और रहेंगे, एनडीए के चीफ मिनिस्टर के कैंडिडेट नीतीश कुमार हैं। ये हमारे टॉप लीडर्स से लेकर के स्टेट लीडरशिप ने इसको क्लियर कर दिया है। और ये जो चुनाव हो रहा है, इसके जो रिजल्ट आए हैं फर्स्ट एंड 2 फेजेस के, एंड आई होप सो कि इससे बेटर रिजल्ट थर्ड फेज के आएंगे, एंड 200 प्लस के साथ एनडीए जो है वो एब्सोल्यूट मेजोरिटी में बिहार में आएगी और नीतीश जी चीफ मिनिस्टर बनेंगे। ये मैं इसलिए बोल रहा हूँ, अप्रिशिएट की बात है कि उन्होंने क्लियर कट कर दिया कि मैं अगले साल तक, जो 5 साल है, ये मेरी लास्ट इनिंग है। जिस प्रकार से बड़े बड़े क्रिकेटर तो ये इससे सबक लेना चाहिए वैसे लोगों को जो परिवारवाद, फैमिली, वंश, डिक्टेटरशिप, एक मतलब कि उससे
जी
बाहर
ठीक है, तो शम्सी जी
सकते।
आप इफेक्टिवली कह रहे हैं कि ये तारीफ की बात है और ये फायदे की भी बात है। इफ अ सिंपैथी कार्ड, इफ एन इमोशनल कार्ड आल्सो वर्क्स एज अ लास्ट डिच एफर्ट। इमीडिएट रिटायरमेंट तो नहीं है, अगले 5 साल अगर जीत गए तो 5 साल आगे तो चलेंगे एज द चीफ मिनिस्टर। बट लेट्स ऑल्सो हियर इट फ्रॉम द जेडीयू हियर ऑन दिस। मिस्टर अरविंद निषाद विद अस, स्पोक्सपर्सन ऑफ द जेडीयू विद अस ऑफ द फोन लाइन। निषाद जी, क्या नीतीश कुमार जी ने अपने पार्टी के साथ ये कभी डिस्कस किया? क्या आपको बहुत हैरत हुई है ये सुन के कि उन्होंने ये जो अनाउंस किया कि ये इनका आखिरी चुनाव होगा?
देखिए, ऐसा है कि हमें भी मीडिया के माध्यम से जानकारी मिली है कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी ने अपने चुनावी अभियान के आखिरी सभा में उन्होंने घोषणा किया कि यह मेरा अंतिम चुनाव है और आप लोग पुनः मुझे मौका दें तो मेरा जो रोड मैप है, इस रोड मैप को मैं पूरा करूंगा और आपके लिए जो मैंने 15 वर्षों की सेवा की है और इस दरमियान जो आप लोगों के लिए मैंने काम किया है, बिहार के उन्नयन के विकास के लिए, बिहार की और बिहारियों की तरक्की के लिए जो काम किया है वह अद्वितीय है। इसलिए हम अगली बार हम चुनाव नहीं लड़ेंगे। लेकिन साथ ही मैं जेडीयू का सामान्य वर्कर होने के नाते मैं उनसे आग्रह करता हूं कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को पुनः इस पर विचार करना चाहिए। ये मेरा निजी है, ये मेरा निजी फीलिंग है, निजी विचार है कि उनको इस पर पुनर्विचार करना चाहिए।
ओके निषाद जी, आरोप ये भी है कि नीतीश कुमार अभी डरे हुए हैं, उनको लगा है फेज 1 फेज 2 में कुछ फायदा हुआ नहीं है, यंग टर्क्स उनको लगातार अटैक कर रहे हैं, बहुत सारे लोग बिहार के भी उनसे खुश नहीं हैं, तो उन्हें लगा ये एक सिंपैथी कार्ड है, इमोशनल कार्ड है, चलते चलते इसको भी इस्तेमाल कर लिया जाए चुनाव जीतने के लिए।
नहीं, देखिए ये इस तरह के भावनात्मक कार्ड अपने राजनीतिक जीवन के 50 वर्षों में नीतीश कुमार जी ने कभी प्रयोग नहीं किया है। उन्होंने हमेशा जो अपने राजनीतिक क्षितिज पर जो काम किया है सरकार में रहते हुए, चाहे भारत सरकार के रेल मंत्रित्व के रूप में हो, कृषि मंत्री के रूप में हो, बिहार में 15 वर्षों के मुख्यमंत्री के रूप में जो काम किया है, उसके आधार पर ही ये जनता के बीच गए हैं और जनता की सेवा उन्होंने किया है और बिहार की प्रगति के लिए उन्होंने काम किया है। इस तरह की जो बात कर रहे हैं, मैं समझता हूं कि वो हल्की बात कर रहे हैं।
ओके Acha, theek hai. We're going to go across to our correspondent Ayushman for a final, to get us a final response here from this. Ayushman currently is in Darbhanga and he has been speaking to many voters here. This is essentially to getting an idea of what the voters are looking at, demanding, expecting this time around. Ayushman, have you managed to put this through across people on the street here of what Nitish Kumar has just announced? Does it make any difference to them?
Well, sir, to few, because it has just come to few who we can speak to, they clearly said that it is a political stunt because there is a massive anti-incumbency against Nitish Kumar. People are not really happy. It is quite visible on the posters as well. When you see Prime Minister Modi also pitching in for Nitish Kumar, and on the posters you don't see Nitish Kumar. Definitely the feeling is that at the very last moment when Nitish Kumar makes it an emotional issue to tell the voters that it is his last elections and people should choose him because of his governance. This is something right now, because not much of time has passed by. People are saying that it seems like a stunt to them, in Darbhanga at least, where the elections are day after tomorrow. Seher, people clearly saying that somewhere what was expected out of a leader like Nitish Kumar was not delivered, and this is something which has also come as a surprise to them as well.
All right, Ayushman, thank you. We appreciate all the political voices who've spoken to us here on this. But Ayushman, getting us that final word here, in essentially people feeling that this is a political stunt in announcing this as his last elections there by Chief Minister Nitish Kumar.